everybody. It's Saturday the 28th of April in 2017 and it must be at least 3 months since I made a post. And no doubt you've been sitting on tenterhooks wondering what on earth is going on in Malkyland. So let's have just 10 minutes or so giving you a bit of catch up. So tomorrow is the Stirling Marathon. So that makes it a year since I actually ran a marathon, and I have in my hands a race number, so number 749, so I was quite quick in getting my entry in. Almost as soon as the entries came out, I had it in there. So that's the good news. Bad news is I'm not going to be running the Stirling Marathon. It's a real disappointment because this was meant to be a staging post for doing my first ultra. I do the Dirty 30 ultra up in the Kintyre Peninsula, so that's kind of near Kyle of Lochalsh, just on the mainland side of the Isle of Skye, and that's on, I think, the 9th of June, so that's only 5 weeks or so from now. Will I do that? I'm not sure. Certainly won't be able to run it, but I can maybe do a jog walk, but we'll wait and see. I don't want to rule anything out or in. Anyway, let's go back to January. So in January I had been starting my build up for the Stirling Marathon. I'd been hoping to get to the marathon distance by the middle of February, and the plan was to run a marathon one weekend, half marathon next weekend, marathon, half marathon, do that for, I should have been able to do that for about 6-7 weeks, and the theory was that by that time my body would have been fully adapted to running the marathon distance, and I still think that's absolutely the right thing to do. It didn't quite work out. I never did get to the marathon distance, so by Christmas I was up to running 15 miles and everything was going according to plan. I had an easy couple of weeks over Christmas, then got back into things in January. But almost immediately there was an outbreak of flu in Scotland, in fact throughout the whole of the UK, and it was really a bad one. People were getting laid low for weeks at a time, and in my case it was about 4 weeks that I was out of running. It was so bad that on the Sunday easy runs with the club, I couldn't do a 5-mile run. I got kind of about 2/3 of the way through and had to say, look, yeah, I just can't do this. So that laid me out for all of January. Then when I went back in February, I found that I had foot pain. Now this is going to be a really incredible story, but I tried all the usual remedies. I knew it wasn't plantar fasciitis, which anybody that gets any foot pain says, oh, it's plantar fasciitis, but 90% of the time that's not what the problem is. In my case, it came down to the point that, you know, I'd been running 15-milers on the Fife Coastal Path with a friend, and I got to the point where 2-3 miles into the run I was absolutely crippled, but only on my left foot. Then I discovered that I bought new Saucony Exodus trail shoes, and the shop had given me a size 8 on the right foot, which is the correct size for me, but a 7.5 on the left foot, and I hadn't realised this, and this is what the problem was. So of course went back to the shop, got them changed, but by that time the damage was done, both on the left foot, and because I was having pain there, I'd been putting more weight onto the right foot, and that is the foot that I'm now having the real trouble with. So I've just done something there with this overcompensating with the right foot. So that was in February that happened. I decided March I'm going to have to stop running altogether to try and give it a bit of a chance to recover. By the end of March it felt better, so I started running again first week in April, so that's 4 weeks ago now. Just starting doing speed walks, then gradually introducing a slow jog. I did my first 5k 2 weeks ago, I think, and done a few since then. But it's still giving me a bit of pain. It's not, you know, absolutely, you know, excruciating, but it's there, and it's not a good idea to pile the miles on when you know that something isn't right, because you end up doing more damage and delaying things in the long term. So there we are rather. That's why I'm not doing the Stirling Marathon tomorrow. It's absolutely the right decision to make. It's disappointing, yes. Could I have done anything that would have avoided the injury? Well, yes, I could have been given the proper shoes in the first place. I think if it hadn't been for that, then I would have been able to pick things up again in February. Yeah, I was back out doing 15 miles, but getting real pain. If I hadn't had that pain, I would have been up to doing the marathon distance by the middle towards the end of February, maybe the beginning of March, taking into account having 4 weeks with the flu. But there's no doubt in my mind that I would have been running marathon, half marathon for at least a month by this stage, and I would have been fully adapted and ready to give Stirling a really good bash. But hey ho, life is a way of throwing things in the way. So we have an ultra 5 weeks today. I'm not going to be able to run for 33 miles, but I'm hoping I might be able to run maybe, if I can do 10-15 miles by then, I'll be quite happy, and then I can jog walk the second half of the ultra. Even if I've got to walk the whole of the second half, I'm going to do the distance. I won't be able to say that I've run an ultra any more than I can say that I've run a marathon, but at least I'll have completed the distance, which I think mentally will help me when I come to do my next marathon. Haven't decided what that's going to be. I'm aiming to, if I can get this residual pain sorted out, I'm hoping to get there by the end of July to be up to the marathon distance, then put in during August marathon, half marathon, then try and pick one up sometime in September. We've got the Great North Run, which is a half marathon in September. That can be one of the half marathon weekends, and that's about it. So that explains where we've been, what we've been doing and not doing, and where we're going from here. I'm not dispirited, disappointed, yes, but not dispirited. We will get back into things just as soon as this injury gets fully healed. But I think the key is, in all cases where you have an injury, don't come back before it's properly healed. You know, yeah, you can come back and do short distances, but don't pile on the pressure, because it really does just make things worse in the long term. So there we are. Good luck to everybody who is doing the Stirling Marathon. I can see one of the runners in the background here. I think she's aiming for 3.5 hours. I'm sure she'll do that. Really good runner. Okay, so we'll keep in touch. Once we get back doing things, we'll start doing more videos, and we'll see you then. Okay, bye for now.
If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to make sure you get notifications of all new content.